Welcome to Healthy by Knowledge, the show that makes being healthy easy by showing you how. I am your host Zaid Shah, and I'll be sharing with you a delicious gluten-free brownie recipe today. Now, apart from being delicious, it's just all pure natural ingredients. Jesus. Let's get into it. What do we need? Sweet potato. 500 grams, and you want to have boiled it for 7 to 8 minutes, 1 centimeter cubes of sweet potato, 50 grams of coconut oil, 200 grams of pitted dates. Now you can go with any type of date that you want. Here I got some nice fresh Iranian dates, but medjool dates are also great. The fresher the better. Some honey, 75 grams of honey goes in next. Okay, all in there. Next is your peanut butter, a teaspoon of salt. That's about a nice teaspoon. Remember, the salt brings out the flavors of the food. I mean, if you think it's a bit strange putting a bit of salt in the brownies, well then think again, because next time you have some salt in front of you, put a little grain on your tongue and then see what happens. You're going to begin to salivate. And when you salivate, your taste buds become more receptive to flavor, so it enhances the flavor. 50 grams of cacao powder, 100 grams of almond meal. Pop the lid on, and that's all you do. And then we add 60 grams of almonds to the mix. So that's that. We have our batter for the brownie, and now all we need is a baking tray or a baking dish, and we're just gonna line the inside with coconut oil just to make sure that the brownies don't stick. Now you just need a little bit, and just use your hand. I mean, you don't need anything fancy here, just get your fingers in there, and because it's coconut oil you can just rub it on your skin after. Literally rub your hands with it. It's that nature. Now you unhook your brownie batter. Let me just look at that. And the funny thing is about this recipe is the majority of the people, when they taste these brownies, they have no idea what's in it. They just naturally assume that it's made with flour, sugar, eggs, and the standard recipes that you find everywhere. But when I tell them that there's no eggs in it, that there's no flour, that there's no refined sugar, they wonder what the hell's in this thing. And I tell them sweet potato is the base. They just can't believe it. They're like, what, potato? Well, yeah. And you won't believe it either, because this recipe was actually invented out of a need, or was discovered out of a need to find natural, healthy recipes for myself and my brother, because we love good food, good, just decadent food. But at the end of the day, you can't be eating that stuff left, right, and center. You can't be eating it day in, day out. It's not going to do you any good. It's going to actually turn you into full-on slob. So I've seen where those roads lead to binge eating on just junk food non-stop, and it's not pretty. So I didn't want to end up that way, and I had to figure out how could I still incorporate all of the foods that I loved without fearing the worst. And also, I just didn't want to be putting a bunch of nonsense into my body. Because think about it. When you cook something and you eat it, you know what's going into it. It's actually enjoyable to make. It's not that difficult. You just have to get the ingredients. I mean, when you have the ingredients, there's nothing difficult. It's just a matter of piecing them together. And this is a foolproof recipe. Anybody can make it. I mean, there you go. It's as simple as that. Now you pop it in the oven for 30 minutes. When you're done. There really isn't anything to it. It just takes 10 minutes out of your day, 10-15 minutes. Look at that. Now that is what I'm talking about. A big bloody brownie. So there's nothing difficult about this recipe. As you saw, all it took was just putting all the ingredients in the food processor, blitzing it up for 3 to 4 minutes, putting it in a greased baking dish, and then in the oven for half an hour, and it's ready. Now all I need to do is let it sit for an hour. So the best part is once you know how to make these recipes, then they can begin to replace all the other highly processed, highly refined foods that did you no good. You can begin substituting. You don't have to get rid of them completely, but if the majority of the time you do happen to eat something sugary, something a bit chocolatey, and you make this, well, your body's not going to be going completely mental when you're putting all of these ingredients in your mouth because they're all 100% natural. But when you're ingesting a whole bunch of chemically engineered foods where you're not entirely sure where the ingredients come from, well, then you really don't know what is going to happen to your body. So please give this a go and let me know in the comments what you think. Licking the bowl really never does get old.